Good day, guys. It's One Angry Pagan. So I just clicked into this. It's from the Mirror. Um, I've over the past few years, I've heard more and more of this popping up. Um, oh, and by the way, I've had this meant asked of me a last couple of videos. This mark is because the Muppet, the dog, decided like having a play fight with her. She caught me in the face. One of her claws did that. So yeah. Anyway. Over the past few years, I've seen a number of news articles come out about um, the stranding of pods of whales and dolphins, and it it there was there was only one last year. I don't know how many. I'm gonna have to do a big deep dive to see if like just how much of this is going on still. Um, but a pod, but yeah. So this is in the Mirror, and as Anglesey, news reporter. An entire pod of 77 whales die on beach after one got stranded and the rest came to help. Now I will say that's entirely possible. Um, but I don't think that might necessarily be the case. So yeah. So dozens of pilot whales were washed up on an island in Orkney in Scotland and resulted in all of the animals dying or being euthanized after they were unable to be saved. An entire pod of 77 whales have died following a mass stranding on a UK beach after dozens have attempted to help one that came ashore, experts said. British Divers Marine Life Rescue BDMLR was alerted to a report of mass stranding of upward of 100 pilot whales at Tresness Beach on the Isle of Sandy, Orkney, just before 11 a.m. on Thursday. When they arrived, it was found that 77 were stranded on the beach and only 12 managed to survive after medics mobilised from the ground around the islands and further afield in Scotland in an attempt to save them. But just 7 hours later, the BDLMR confirmed that the 12 whales that survived had been euthanized due to the length of time they spent on the beach. Yeah, the their weight um, basically suffocates them when they're on land. Their skeletal structure is made for being in the water, and so they got no way to support themselves, like to support their own body mass on land. So yeah. Um, so quote, sadly, the remaining 12 pilot whales have been euthanized due to their condition deteriorating from the many hours they spent stranded on the beach, resulting in crush injury from their own weight and the high likelihood that they have inhaled water with the incoming tide. Yeah. So yeah, just as I said, and pilot whales, like they kind of look a little bit, very little bit like orcas, but they're not. The substrate they're on is also incredibly soft, meaning they've sunk even deeper into the sand when the tide washed over them, so they unfortunately weren't able to refloat themselves. According to the BBC, dozens of pilot whales came ashore in a bid to save a stranded member of their pod. Well, again, I want to see the evidence. I want to see the backup for that. The Scottish Marine Animal Stranding Schemes (SMASS) will attempt to recover some of the bodies to undertake post-mortem examinations, with BDMLR saying local farmers are on standby to help recover the animals using tractors and trailers. Emma Neve Webb of the BDMLR in Orkney told the BBC it would be a massive multi-agency undertaking to remove the whales, adding that investigations would begin on Friday, to find out what on earth has happened here. Miss Neve Webb said local residents have been absolutely amazing, adding when you first arrive it's really quite difficult to take in how many there are and quite what the task is ahead of us. It's really quite emotional when you arrive. We knew some of the animals were still alive, so they were priority, but we had to go through every single animal there. The whales, she added, were moving around quite a bit, thrashing their tails, occasionally making the environment dangerous for rescue workers. Yeah, they're not like compared to whales like the humpback whale and the blue whale and the sperm whale. They're pretty small, but compared to a human, no, 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 no. Local farmers, she said, have been absolutely brilliant. They're working with the council at the moment to organise where these animals are going to go. She said it's a massive undertaking and everyone in the community and further afield has really pulled together to help. Good. I think that was the end of the article. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm. This is this is not good. Like it's really not good. I'm It's I wonder why. Like it all to be fair, it does depend on why this happened. So, oh, got an article from the Scotsman on on MSN. Let's have a look at this. It's from about 4 hours ago. The last one was from about 2 days ago. Um, so yeah, this is on. This is from the Scotsman. Alison Campsey has done this article. So Orkney whale stranding, post-mortem to check if hearing damage led to tragedy. Interesting. Marine experts are working against the clock to determine reasons for the stranding of 77 pilot whales on Orkney Beach. Yeah. Post-mortems have been carried out on at least 20 of the pilot whales stranded on a beach in Orkney, with the ears removed from the oldest 6 females to determine if their hearing had been damaged from the marine tragedy. Dr. Andrew Brownlow, the director of the Scottish Marine Animal Stranding Scheme, the SMASS, which is based at Glasgow University, said colleagues were working against the clock to retrieve as much information as possible before decomposition set in. Okay, full post-mortems have been carried out on more than 20 of the animals, with tissue samples taken from all 77 whales to determine factors such as contaminants, toxins, and genetics. Okay, so they're really taking a good look at this. I'm very interested to know what the results are. He said ears had been taken, the oldest, most precious animals, given they are at the head of the pod, which the other members follow. Yeah, that's a good point. Damage to hearing can be caused by explosives and sonar equipment used by the military to detect submarines, as well as both the renewables and oil and gas industries. Dr. Brownlow, who added that removing the ears was extremely difficult task given their location deep within the skull, said, by looking at the ears we can potentially try to understand whether these animals have been exposed to significant amounts of underwater noise, basically if they are deaf. If these animals, if these are animals that use sound to navigate, to forage and communicate, and basically all the life processes that we use sight for, if their hearing is damaged, then that would have a massive impact. They are incredibly tight-knit communities, so if one animal gets into trouble and goes off in a particular direction, the others tend to follow. So that's probably why the Mirror story went down that road. The ears will give us some insight into significant noise. If we won't know if the animals were scared, if there were behavioural changes, or if they were running away from something they were worried about, such as killer whales, underwater noise, or military activity or sonar. What we are looking for is significant damage from things like long and protracted exposure to noise, things like exposure to underwater explosives, exposure to military sonar, and particularly military sonar that is used to try and find enemy submarines, that seems to be in frequencies that will do this. Basically, we're talking about any impulsive noise that is put into the marine environment. If, and it is a big if, these animals were close enough to the source of that noise, then that would cause some difficulty, but I don't think we are dealing with a physical trauma. I think what we're seeing is a behavioural response. Dr. Brownlow said a request had been made to the Ministry of Defence for any information on activity in the area. Pilot whales are usually found around 100 kilometres out into the North Sea. Despite their presence in Scottish waters, they're very cryptic. Yeah, there's not a lot we like pilot whales. Like they're rather secretive. It's like the river dolphins in the Amazon. Um, it's remarkable how little we know about them, about their standard ecology, and that's a big problem because we don't fully understand some really basic stuff about these populations, such as where they are, what they're feeding on, and how they're moving, how the impact of climate change is impacting them. We can't make decisions about how to prevent this from happening again. Okay, so I think this is one that I'll be trying to keep keep an eye on. No, toys are out of power. Yeah, I'll be trying to keep an eye on it. Like this is as well. Also, just want to shout out for the viviparous or common lizards. Again, if anyone has seen any this summer, please let me know. So yeah, this has been quite disturbing, actually. I wonder what's done this. Like I said, if anything else comes out about this, I'm pretty damn sure I'm gonna do another video on it. So yeah, I want let me know what you guys think. If you guys have got any more information on this, let me know. But yeah, this isn't great. And yes, this happens, but I've seen this. This also happened last year, and I'm seeing like I don't know if this is anecdotal from my end, but it seems to me like this could very well be you know getting worse. It's like to me, it's like I'm seeing more and more of this over the past 10 years. But I'll probably have to do a deep a deep dig on that one. But yeah, if anyone else has got any better information or knows this situation better than me, please let me know. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. Um, I'll be probably doing another eco vid today, and we'll see if anything else comes about. So yeah, my shield at your backs, badgers. My sword at your service. Gold weird, good fate, and blessed be.